This film aims to provide a virtual tour of the duties and responsibilities of our donor carers on a blood donation session. Welcome to Cosham Community Centre. Every year, NHSBT run up to 23,000 blood collection sessions across the country. Many of these sessions take place in community centres, just like this one. And today, we're going to see the Portsmouth team use the new continuous care model to turn this ordinary community centre into something a little more extraordinary. For our mobile blood donation sessions, our donor carers are responsible for the unloading and setting up of the blood donation session at each venue. This also includes driving one of our 7.5 tonne vans and 15-seater minibus. Please note that this element of the role is not required if you are applying to be a donor carer in one of our donor clinics. Please take a look at the recruitment profile to find out if the role you've applied for is on our mobile or clinic team. And if you're unsure, please contact the recruitment team through NHS Jobs. So let's have a look at what a finished session looks like. Here we have the welcome desk and refreshment area, the donor waiting area, the session computer, the back pod, the donation chairs, the health screening area, and finally the front pod. We'll be looking at what each of these areas do in more detail later in the film. This is the Portsmouth team. Say hello to Carol. Carol is going to take us on a guided tour of the session.
If you're ready and you'd like to come with me, we'll go through to the welcome desk. At the welcome desk here, we meet and greet our donors and thank them for coming. There is a banner advising them of where to come and wait. Also at this area, we will observe the tea table when the donors have finished their donations and they come and sit for their refreshments.
With the introduction of the self-service drinks machine and the repositioning of the BPA computer, colleagues can now concentrate their time on the well-being of donors who have donated. And they're also free to welcome new arrivals on session.
But as we've just opened the session, what we will do primarily is just make sure everything's prepped and we'll wait for the first donor to come through the door. Hello.
Sorry.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm donating today.
Okay, and your name please?
Jackie.
Can I ask what time you're booked in for, please?
2:00.
Wonderful.
Donors are given a number between 1 and 4 in order of their arrival on each line of the appointment grid. They are then asked if they have their DHC, and if not, to complete a blank one. DHC stands for Donor Health Check Questionnaire, and it's important each donor completes one on session.
You're a little early, but that's fine. What I'm going to ask you to do, Jackie, is to read through the welcome folder.
Thank you.
And for this little leaflet, extra leaflet on the blood tests that we're doing today as well. Do help yourself to a large cold drink, take a seat, and when you're ready, we'll take you through. Now that Jackie's had a little time to read through the information, we can continue on the donor journey. What I shall do is I shall observe the session, look around and see if I can identify an empty screening booth. That will be identified by a flip chart hanging over the top of the screen of the booth. If the flip chart is white, I know the booth is empty and I can continue on through that journey and call Jackie through for screening. As I've identified this booth as being empty, I can take the flip chart with me and attend the front desk and call the next donor through. I'll check the grid and observe the first number of the person that's come in, which is identified by the number 1.
After calling the donor's name and confirming they have read the welcome booklet, colleagues cross through the name on the appointment grid.
Read through your welcome folder, Jackie. Wonderful, thank you. Are you ready to come through?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. Shall we go through to screening then? I take the flip chart in the booth with me because it lets my colleagues know that this booth is now occupied and they won't try and call somebody else through. Hi Jackie, I'm Carol and I'm going to run through the health check form with you. Can you just confirm your name?
The health check screening process makes sure that it's safe for a donor to donate and that the blood is safe for a patient to receive. This screening is confidential and includes confirming the donor's identity and asking questions about their lifestyle and general health. This helps us assess if they're eligible to donate. Screening also includes taking a drop of blood from the donor's finger to check the haemoglobin levels in their blood.
So now that we've completed the screening process with Jackie and that's all fine, I can take Jackie over to the front pod desk to get everything ready for her donation. Jackie will remain with me, and this way we can keep continuous contact with our donor, okay? I will hang the flip chart back over the top of the screen, and that will identify to my colleagues that the screen again is available to be used for further donors to come through for screening. Okay, if you'd like to come with me. There we are, this way.
The front pod area allows two colleagues to work simultaneously. By having your donors sitting at each end, it enables you to stay in constant contact while you prepare your basket and blood pack. The basket includes a blood collection pack, sample tubes, an arm cleansing wand, dressing for application post-donation, and a post-donation advice card.
So, Jackie, if you'd like to follow me. You'd like to donate from your left arm?
Yes, please.
Okay. There's a small chair if you need that for any of your personal belongings. At the end of the table, there's a little yellow bag for you to pop your balls into. Do take a seat. I shall ask you please to have a little read through all those leaflets there for me, okay? At this point, I would then double check my DHC to ensure that all the boxes have been ticked, nothing's been missed, and the DHC is signed and dated on both sides.
The donor's arm is thoroughly examined to find a suitable vein before being cleaned with an antiseptic sponge. This kills normal bacteria or germs on the skin. Staff also clean their hands frequently using hand wipes or gels. Our donor carers are responsible for facilitating the blood donation process. This includes inserting the needle into a donor's arm to collect a donation and ensuring that all donors have a positive donation experience.
So now that my donor is comfortable, Jackie is comfortable, and the donation is underway, I observe the session to see how many donors are actually on the beds, and I can see that my colleague is actually in the session with me, and there are only 3 donors, so I can look around at the screening booths to see whether or not I could go off screening or listen out for any alarms going where I'd need to take a donation down. As I can hear, Jackie's is actually finished. She's a very quick donor. I can now proceed and take Jackie's donation down. It's a bit noisy, that machine, wasn't it? Sounds old. Press on there for me, please. 3 fingers on there, pop your thumb just underneath and squeeze. Excellent.
Based on research carried out in the wider NHS, colleagues can now perform and sign the final pack check on a donation that they've labelled themselves. This can save time trying to find a colleague for sign-off.
So now that the donation is complete and Jackie's made her way to the refreshment area, I'm going to take my pod, completed donation, to the back pod support area, and I shall seal, wrap and pack this donation.
To ensure safe transportation, the blood packs are sealed and packed into polar bags, ready for transporting to our blood manufacturing centres. The samples taken from the donor's blood donation are racked in order. These samples are taken to perform a range of screening tests in our laboratories. The donor carer will enter the donation into the session computer to record the donor's donation and to ensure that it is traceable.
So now that donation is completed and the paperwork's sorted and everything's up to date, I can now look around the session and see what tasks I can take up next. I can check the booths, and if they're empty, I can carry on screening, or if there's other donors on the chairs that need attending to, I can attend to those. I now have to be responsible for my abilities on this team. Thank you for watching the video, and I really sincerely hope you enjoyed this tour.